Ladies and gentlemen, we will now proceed with the formal portion of tonight's ceremony. Please direct your attention to one of the screens located in your wing for a short video, which will be followed by the presentation of the awards. We will now begin with the presentation of the awards. The Director of the Department of Military Instruction, Colonel Mark Fedorovich, will now present the first award of the 2026 Sandhurst competition. The Most Lethal Squad Award recognizes the team with the highest average score of the M4 and the M17 marksmanship events. The Most Lethal Squad is USMA Gold. Will the entire team please move to the stage? The officer in charge of the functional fitness lane, Major Christopher Johnson, from the Department of Physical Education, will now present the Physical Fitness Award. The award recognizes the team with the best physical endurance combined over all fitness-based events. The Physical Endurance Award goes to Canada Kingston. Will the entire team please make their way to the stage? The Tom Surdyke Leadership Award recognizes individual leadership on the Sandhurst course and is reserved for the best squad leader from amongst the teams. Today and always, we honor the memory of West Point cadet Tom Surdyke of Festus, Missouri, a young man who embodied the true spirit of service both in life and in sacrifice. Please direct your attention to the screens for a video about this incredible leader.
Mr. Speaker, I rise today to honor the memory of West Point cadet Tom Surdyke from Festus, Missouri. Tom chose a life of service at West Point, and in his death, he proved that serving others was always in his heart. While on vacation on June 24th, 2016, Tom and another swimmer he just met on shore were caught in a riptide. Tom instinctively went to the other young man who could not swim, keeping him afloat, but Tom was pulled under. Tom died in the hospital 4 days later. Continuing his ultimate goal to serve, Tom donated his organs. He was given the Soldier's Medal, the Army's highest non-combat award, because he saved the life of another. I grieve the loss of this gifted young man who would have no doubt distinguished himself in a life of military service. But today I celebrate Tom Surdyke's spirit, his character, and selfless act that distinguished him to death.
When you hear people talk about him, you're talking about a teammate, a good teammate. That's what Sandhurst is. It's the embodiment of being a good teammate. That's what Tom Surdyke's story and what his life showed. And so I think that's a very, very fitting person to represent the Sandhurst competition.
He really had a team mentality, and it wasn't just individual, how am I going to make it through, but it's how are we going to make it through.
I realized that Tom was someone who wasn't just attending the academy and learning about service, he was demonstrating it. And he knew that service, it wasn't something that we clock in and out of each day.
I wanted to be a part of something that was going to make me the best version of myself and the best leader for my soldiers one day. And just hearing Tom's story just cemented the fact that Sandhurst was where I needed to be.
I think every story that I've heard about Tom was how committed he was to his team, how genuine he was with his team, and so when I think about my teammates, I want to be genuine with them.
It reminded me that every day is a gift and that we don't know how long our lives are going to be, and that we should live every day in service to others and with the positive attitude that Tom had.
We definitely incorporate his legacy by trying to instill the values that he embodied into ourselves and into our team, and ensuring that everyone knows that we're going to help each other despite the personal cost. We're going to do our best to pull someone up when we're down, and we're going to try to bring out the best in others.
Oftentimes the teams that do the best or win are the teams that are willing to sacrifice for each other the most. And so I think Tom's story is a great epitome for that.
Tom's legacy inspires me and my team to go above and beyond what's asked of us and to always be looking out for one another.
When I think of Tom, the first thing that comes to my mind is selflessness and his personal courage. That's what he was, and that's what he did. He was selfless enough to sacrifice himself, and he had that personal courage to do that.
We have to do whatever it will take in order for the team to succeed and in order to bring out the best in others. That's exactly what he did.
It helps you to know that your teammates are there like supporting you, and it's not just oh my gosh, like maybe I'm tired, but you know, everyone's in it together and we're all gonna get through it together.
Tom's story is not over. It lives on in all of us.
We have all been charged with writing future chapters in his amazing story of bravery and self-sacrifice. I didn't know Tom, but I know his story. I know what he stood for. He inspires me to push further than I ever thought possible.
The Academy's sacred mission is to develop leaders of character. Tom is the accomplishment of this mission. He is what we all aspire to be. He is the embodiment of leaders of character and fully lived our motto.
Duty, honor, country.
Tom's inspiration doesn't end with Sandhurst. It has touched me to my core. The story of his self-sacrifice will motivate and inspire me my entire life.
Tom is the perfect example for all Sandhurst competitors to emulate, and we are proud to permanently memorialize him by presenting our Leadership Award in his honor. It is an honor to introduce Mr. and Mrs. Surdyke, Tom's parents. We will now recognize the nominees for the Tom Surdyke Memorial Leadership Award. To help with this recognition, please welcome to the stage Command Sergeant Majors Phil Barretto and Kyle Keenan. Will the squad leaders of the following teams please come to the stage? Company A2, Finland, Norway, University of Minnesota, and Canada Kingston. As voted for the competition staff for outstanding commitment, performance, and leadership across all elements of the Sandhurst competition. And the winner of the Tom Surdyke Memorial Leadership Award is Nathan Kim from the University of Minnesota. The Deputy Commandant of the United States Corps Cadets, Colonel Chad Foster, and Command Sergeant Major Kyle Keenan will now present the award for the highest performing company team in the United States Corps of Cadets. The winner of the 2026 USCC Sandhurst Performance Award is Company A1. Will A1's entire team come to the stage? The International Trophy is presented to the first place international team in the Sandhurst competition. Major General Nick Cowley, Commandant of the Royal Military Academy, Sandhurst, will now present the International Trophy. And the winner of the International Trophy is Canada Kingston. Will the entire team please make their way to the stage?
So as the Commandant of the Royal Military Academy at Sandhurst, I have the great privilege of saying a couple of words on behalf of all of the international teams competing. Firstly, and most importantly, to General Gillen, to all your staff, to all of the staff and officer cadets at West Point, I want to say a massive thank you for the most brilliant few days of competition. Can we all please give them a huge cheer and a round of applause? So a couple of years ago, I was lucky enough to be able to buy my grandfather's medals at an auction. And when they arrived, they came in a small shoebox. And as I opened the box, what I found in there was not only his Second World War medals, but also a diary from when he had been captive by the Germans in Europe. And as I read through the diary, it spoke about his time in captivity. And right at the very end, he says, "I then saw the best sight of my life." And that was a US tank with a US flag flying as it approached the front gates of the prisoner of war camp. So what we're doing here today, forming bonds between our nations, matters. 70 years later, I was under US command as part of the global war on terror in Afghanistan. After I was injured, my life was saved by a joint US-UK surgical team. So what you're doing here today, building these bonds, really matters. And as the dark clouds of war once again hang over Europe and the Middle East, I would argue it matters more now than it has done for many generations. We know that we are never going to build the trust we need once we're in contact. It's too late by then. So it's things like this competition that brings us all together that builds that trust that's so important. And we know there's nothing our enemies hate more, nothing they hate more than us coming together as partners and as allies and as friends. So I'll leave you with one final reflection before we get on with prize giving. So I'm very lucky in this job. I get to do quite a lot of public speaking, often to civilian audiences. And sometimes they like to tell me that the young of today aren't what they used to be, that they're not as tough as they used to be. And I have a very sophisticated answer for them. I tell them they're talking bollocks. They're talking bollocks because that's not what I see. What I see going around our camps are young people who want to serve, young people who want to lead, and young people who are willing to fight for their countries. And the Sandhurst Cup is the ultimate expression of that will, that desire, and the unbelievably high standards that the young people in our army have. So from all of the spectators, all of the chain of command who've had the privilege of watching you compete over the last couple of days, I want to finish by thanking you and giving you a big round of applause for doing an incredible job here.
The ROTC Cup is presented to the first place ROTC team in the Sandhurst competition, Brigadier General Sean Crockett, Commanding General of the United States Army Cadet Command and Fort Knox, and Command Sergeant Major Darrell Walls will now present the Sandhurst ROTC Cup to the winning team. The winning team of the 2026 ROTC Cup goes to Texas A&M. Will the entire team make their way to the stage? The Sandhurst Medallion is presented to the top 5 teams in the Sandhurst competition. Colonel Foster will now present medals to the entire 5th through 2nd place teams. Please move forward as your team is called. This year's competition was exceptionally fierce. The margin between our top 2 teams was razor thin. Congratulations to all our competitors for a job well done. The 5th place team is Norway. The 4th place team is Canada Kingston. The 3rd place team is Texas A&M. And the 2nd place team is USMA Gold. The Reginald E. Johnson Memorial Saber, named after Cadet Reggie Johnson, a Sandhurst competitor who passed away during the land navigation phase in 1980, is presented to the overall first place team in the Sandhurst competition. The 6th Superintendent of the United States Military Academy, Lieutenant General Stephen Gillen, Command Sergeant Major Phil Barreto, and Major General Nick Cowley, will now present the Reginald E. Johnson Memorial Saber and a first place Sandhurst medallion to the winning team. The winner of the Reginald E. Johnson Memorial Saber goes to Yusma Black. Will the entire team please make their way to the stage?
All right, hey, congratulations to all of our competitors. Let's get a round of applause, all right? All right. All right, okay, come on, we gotta keep this thing moving, all right? All right, in the live stream, for all of our families and the supporters that are down at Ike Hall, I just wanna say thanks. We have families and friends that come in from all over the world when we think about it. And for our competitors, it's pretty incredible when you see that and you get the opportunity. They're coming to watch you, they're coming to support you, all right? I've just asked of you all to thank them when you get back to your loved ones that have come out here and done that. And don't forget about all those people that are back at your respective home stations that have given a hell of a lot to support every single one of you in prepping to come out here to West Point and compete in Sandhurst. I will echo one thing: relationships. All right, relationships matter, as Sir Nick talked about. All right, many of you are going to find out in the next 5, 10, heck, maybe 15 to 20 years, you're going to run into each other again. And it might be someplace that, guess what, most of us do not want to be. But you're going to run into each other and you're going to look at each other and you're going to be like, hey, I know you from somewhere. All right, and you're going to find out it's going to come back to you met here during the Sandhurst competition. Now, I know some of you probably figure, oh, that's hard to believe. No, it's not, because it's the nature of who we are when we think about our respective militaries and what we are asked to do, what you are asked to do, okay? And I just ask you to remember that, relationships. They really matter, and you have had the opportunity to start fostering them now. All right, last thing is, hey, look, You're all going to get out of here. You're really tired. I know that. Safe travels as you head back to your respective home stations. Okay? I remind you, hey, everything we do around here and everything you will continue to do in the military is a team effort. And we saw that over the past few days as these teams came together, you all, in order to not only go out and perform, but to support each other, to help pull or push each other through some grueling events. It's a team effort, all right? It's a life skill. So keep doing it. Make good decisions. Everyone, Upton, what do we got? Last thing? We good, or can I say dismissed? Oh, we're going to do the medley, right? Hey, just so you know, we're going to do the respective armed forces medley. I think the band is going to play, and when they go through, you'll be able to sing, stand up for your respective service. It's going to be a great one. Thanks for what you all do. Upton, let's go.
Thank you, sir. Thank you to all the competing teams for bringing the spirit of the competition and camaraderie, which was displayed here on the fields of friendly strife. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give all of our competitors and cadre another round of applause for a job well done. The event couldn't have happened without the help and support of the soldiers of the 3rd of the 304th, medics from across the Western Hemisphere Command, the United States Military Academy Brass Quintet, Public Affairs Office, the Mess Hall staff, and of course the Sandhurst officers in charge, Major Wyatt Vosberg and Major Connor Lister. Please give them a round of applause for their hard work and dedication to making this a world-class event. Will everyone please stand for the playing of the Armed Forces Melody? This concludes the Sandhurst 2026 competition and award ceremony. Thank you all, and have a good night.